I'm going to start making hamburgers. The first thing I do is make my seasoning mix. I have 3 tablespoons of smoked paprika. I have 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, a tablespoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of salt, a teaspoon of sage, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon and a half of onion powder. Just going to mix all that together. And we'll add this to our ground meat. So for my 40th birthday, I made a list of things that I wanted to do and accomplish in my life and before I turned 40, and one of them was to go to the Texas State Fair, which we did. While I was there, we saw a cooking lesson where a guy from a local burger joint grinds his own meat, showed us how to do it, and I got so excited that all I wanted was a meat grinder. So my husband bought me one for Christmas, and I've never been so excited. By the way, I'm just breaking up the onion powder because it's all in clumps, and you do not want a clump of onion powder in the middle of your burger. So I did a bunch of research on how to use the meat grinder, and now, after I've finished the seasoning, what I'm going to do is get my beef, which we bought a rump roast and a shoulder roast, and I'm going to get it out of the freezer. It's only been in there for about 15 minutes, and it's only there so that it can get a little colder, so that it doesn't become mealy as it goes through the meat grinder. And then we will grind our meat. All right, let's get our meat. So I have a total of 5 pounds. We have cut it into strips that'll fit in the meat grinder. So, I'll pull this out. Turn it. Oh. See, this is so exciting. And there we are. We have ground our 5 pounds of beef. So now what I'm going to do is add my seasoning mix that I just made, all of it, because I have 5 pounds, and then just mix it in. And then we're going to put this in the refrigerator and let the seasoning get all mixed in with the burger, or the ground beef, and then we'll make burgers. You'll notice I'm spending a lot of time making sure that the seasoning gets all the way in, because there is truly nothing on earth that I dislike more than a under-seasoned burger. All right, we're gonna put this back in the refrigerator, and then we'll get started on burgers when we're ready. So I'm ready to start cooking our burgers. I have our pan is on high, or is on medium, I'm sorry, and it's been heating up for a couple minutes just to get it warm. If you put your burgers onto a cold skillet and let them heat up that way, you don't get the seared on the outside. They more boil or steam. Steam is more the word. Okay, so I have 1/3 of a pound of meat, and I'm going to roll it into a ball and then flatten it. And then I'm going to put little divots in it so that the burger can rise up without getting a giant bubble in the middle of it. I'm going to have a 1/4 of a pound for me, because I can't eat the big meat. My husband and child Keenan. If it were up to Jonah, we'd have bacon on these burgers. There we go, we have 3 burgers cooking. And now I'm just going to take some salt and lightly sprinkle it over the top. Just give it a little more flavor. We're going to let those sear on the outside just a minute or 2, flip them over, and then we'll finish them off in the oven. Okay, if you notice, we can see brown coming up along the edges here. It means it's time to flip. Couple more minutes, and then we'll have them on our stoneware and slide them in the oven. So our burgers have been cooking for 2 more minutes on the other side. You see how nice and brown they are. Now I'm just going to slide them onto this pan. And then my oven is set to 400 degrees. Let me turn it off. I'm going to slide these in here for 10 minutes. And then we'll be ready for burgers. So our burgers are out of the oven. And we are going to, I'm going to put some cheese on them so it melts right now while they're still hot. And then I'll put everybody's on their respective bun. So we all eat our burgers differently. And these are on my homemade hamburger buns that we made in a different video. And there we are.